People in Taiz have taken to streets protesting the extension of the United Nations truce. Protesters called for lifting the Houthi siege and opening main roads in the city before extending the truce. This report has more.
Thousands of Yemenis flocked to the streets of Taiz on Tuesday to protest the prolongation of the UN-sponsored truce, which expires on August 2nd, amid the continued siege of their city by Iran-backed Houthi rebels. Europe and the United States are hopeful that the truce would be extended for 6 months rather than 2, and that both the government and the Houthis will agree to the proposal. So far, the Houthis have refused to follow the truce clause aimed at lifting their suffocating 7-year siege of Taiz. The truce, which has been in force since April 2nd, calls for the reopening of roads to Taiz, which the militias have refused to do. Protesters stated in a statement on Tuesday that the Houthis do not believe in peace and do not keep their promises. They accuse Western powers and the United Nations of being too easy on the Houthis, which has only encouraged militias to exploit the truce and recruit more members, raid and shell residential neighborhoods, and use heavy weapons against children and women, which is now a daily occurrence in Al-Baida, Taiz, and Al-Dawla. They urged the Presidential Leadership Council, chaired by Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, to oppose the continuation of the unjust truce, which is currently being used to cover up illegal Houthi activities against children, women, and civilians. They called on the United Nations Security Council, the European Union, the Arab League, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to take a fair stance and to help Yemen's people enforce relevant Security Council decisions. The demonstration took place as Tim Lunderking, the U.S. ambassador to Yemen, visited Riyadh and Amman as part of attempts to extend the fragile truce. Europe has also advocated for the truce's extension. The French ambassador to Yemen met with Al-Alimi in Aden to convince the Presidential Council to prolong the truce. According to official sources, Al-Alimi informed his visitor that the Council supports the international community's efforts to bring peace and stability to Yemen. He emphasized the importance of increasing international pressure on the Houthis to keep their promises. The Presidential Council is not opposed to the truce being extended, but the chairman and his deputies insist on its complete implementation, especially the lifting of the siege of Taiz.